Hey Jay, we've got a guest today.
Yeah, why don't you introduce our guest?
Hey, our guest is Ged Mayhew. A little bit of a we're talking about emojis today, so I figured I know an emoji expert. Why don't we bring on the emoji expert? So Ged's here. Ged, you want to tell us a little about your expertise?
Well, I've been designing emojis for, I don't know, close to 10 years now. And the company that I co-founded, the Icon Factory, has created some of the emojis that probably a lot of listeners have used in the past. We did emoji for Twitter. We did emoji for Facebook Messenger. Not Facebook, but Microsoft Messenger. And WhatsApp. So we have, over the years, created quite a few of those emojis. And I love them. They're a personal favorite of mine. Everyone loves emojis.
Yeah, so you're probably attached to a few of them, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Spend a lot of time with them.
When you design over 1,700 of them, you develop affinities for some, I think.
Wow, 1,700. That's insane.
Right.
How'd you get started, real quick? How'd you get started in this?
I mean, we used to do, we do icons and app icons for companies. And of course, by extension, we just started doing emoji when they got popular. Twitter came to us to do them. And a couple other companies came to us to do them. And it just grew out from there. So there's a bunch of design studios that create them for the various apps you see in the world, but we haven't done a whole suite of them in a while. So the Unicode standard people there only add a few emoji every year. So there's not a whole ton of new ones that get added often. But it's cool when they do. This year coming up, they're going to add Bigfoot, and I'm really excited.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I think I downloaded some icons from my MacBook a long time ago from the Icon Factory. I think that's something I did. Is that something you did?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. Yeah. So I had like the files that look a certain way and stuff like that. That was pretty. Do you still do those?
Yeah, we do. We just released a set of folder icons just this past week. Talos remastered his set of Yosemite 1999 from way back from Mac OS and made them large for the new Finder and everything, and people have really loved that. So
I need to remember. I used to do all kinds of cool, fun stuff on my computer, and now I just barely open the thing, which is fun. All right, so I'm going to be honest with you guys. When I text people, first of all, I'm not a big texter. I like to text when I have to give information, but that's it. And I'm not a big phone call person either. In fact, I don't know how my friends and family keep up with me, to be honest with you. Think about it. So I don't use icons that much, but I do have all my most recent icons that I've used. I have them right here. So
right, everybody's got to have 5 that they use a lot, right?
Yeah, I have. Well, I swear to God, I haven't used these much. Like, I really don't. Like, if I had to send a reaction,
you're all about business in the text, right? You're not very emotive.
Well, if I had to send a reaction, I would use a GIF. That's what I've learned about myself, and I have my top 5 GIFs. I use those all the time. But
do you use stickers? Do you use stickers at all?
No, I don't. I don't know what I do. I don't know what. I must be so frustrated to my friends and family. Like, I just don't do it. I just I'll do something. But I do have my top 5. So right. I do have 5 of them that I have used and I like.
Great. Glad you do. All right. My first one is super important because I use this at work and I use it in my personal communications. It's the up pointing index finger. So it's like pointing up. Hey, did you see this thing that I wrote to you like 3 hours ago and you haven't responded to? So I use that all the time. And it's like the one where, so it's the fingers are facing you instead of away from you, so it doesn't look like you're giving them the bird. Right. Because there's 2 versions of this. There's one where it's an index finger pointing up, but you see the knuckles, and then the other one's where you see the fingers. So I have the harder to mistake for the middle finger version with the fingers facing you. So that's my 5th one. Use it all the time.
Gad, what's your number 5?
I started using the heart hands one a lot. The two hands forming the heart. Yeah. It's just like I use a lot of the heart emojis all the time anyway. But I've come to use that one quite a bit lately.
That's a good one.
Who was the first person to ever do that? That person must be super frustrated. Like, I did that. I started that. There's one person who did it, and they were like, "Oh, that's great. I'll do that too." And now thousands, everybody, millions of people have done it. He's like, "Come on, give me credit." Like, no.
I think it probably started in Japan or Korea.
Yeah,
a lot of them. All these emojis really started over there. So
that's true. Yeah. You know what? That's true. Like, yeah, a lot of our culture stuff is so. Yeah. My number 5 is the upside down smiley face.
Yeah, that's good.
I like that one, but I don't really know when or why I should use it. Why are you using it?
It's like, oh, everything's terrible, but I'm still alive.
Okay, yeah.
So right. I'm like, oh, it's actually kind of interesting how when I look at it, it looks normal, but it's definitely not. It's like our brain knows that's up. It's like it's okay. Like a brain just kind of figures it out.
Right.
It's great to use for sarcasm.
Yeah.
when you make a sarcastic or whatever remark, and you can use that. People sometimes use the clown face for sarcasm, but I don't like the clown one. It's
that
scary.
one.
So
that doesn't say sarcasm to me. That says you're a clown.
Yeah.
What kind of when you let's take that one for example. When you're designing these, like how much work and detail goes into it? Do you have to think? I know you have to think about the idea, but then you actually have to design it. Like, are you like do a drawing first and then you take it to a what's the workflow for that?
It depends on what the context of it is. If it's designing an entirely new look and feel for an emoji, then yes, you have to do sketches and do looks and feels and go through the whole thing. If it's simply adding on to, an existing style or existing set, I mean, there's still going to be some sketching involved, but since the rendering and everything is already determined, it's pretty simple to just do a flat graphical shape, rough render of it and show that to the client. Make sure they're good with the position of objects and elements within the emoji, and then go on and render it. And especially if it's a smiley face, it can go through a ton of revisions because you have to capture the emotion just right. Mm-hmm. If you don't, then it's not going to work.
All right, I've got a question about Jay's upside down smiley face. Do you redraw that, or do you just take your smiley face and turn it upside down?
That one is probably just an example of just flipping it upside down because it is the actual smiley face just reversed.
Right.
So there's probably no need to tweak it or things like that. But
maybe if there's like lighting or something on it, you'd have to check
there's
that.
One where the face, the smiley, there's a salute and the hand is up to the face.
Right.
If you guys have seen that, and the face gets cut off right down the middle.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah,
it is weird. There's not enough space to
there's no
show
on the Apple one. There's no blur or anything. It's just a hard cut. Yeah,
right. So I'm sure the designers on that one went through a bunch of different iterations to say, okay, how much of the face do we have to show, or how do we cut off the face, or how do we, crop or blur or whatever, and then they come to a decision about which way they're going to use it.
That face with the saluting hand was really popular when Elon Musk was firing everybody at Twitter, and so like the Twitter people would use that emoji as their sign off on Twitter.
Great.
Yeah. So, all
right, Mike, what's your number 4?
Number 4 is a classic, thumbs up.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I use the thumbs up.
You gotta use that. Use it all the time.
Do you ever use the thumbs down or no?
I do use the thumbs down sometimes, but it's more of like I use the thumbs down more of like a no than I don't like this.
Right.
I should probably just type no, but I use the thumbs down. Yeah, I use the thumbs down to mean no.
But if you use a thumbs down to mean no, then don't you have to do a follow up? Like, why don't you want? Why not?
Yeah, I should probably just type something, but I still use the thumbs down. Yep.
Oh. My number 4 is also the thumbs up emoji, but I think this is
nice.
interesting. I really do appreciate that you could change the skin tones.
Yeah.
Do you like do a whole like how do you do? Okay. So if you do a long press, it gives you options.
Right.
It's not like, hey, you know, I want to represent my African American heritage, which is fine. But it's more like, hey, my skin's not yellow.
Right.
You know,
Right.
like so.
Right.
So like, can I find a skin tone that matches something that represents me? You know, and I think that's kind of cool.
Well, it'd be even
for
worse
every one
if
of them?
the default was like, you know, pink or something like that, you know, like Caucasian.
So why can't you do that with the yellow smiley faces?
I think. I mean, that's a good question. I don't know why there's not skin tone versions of the smiley faces, except to say that those
Probably look creepy.
They would look creepier for sure. It's kind
I think we should try it.
I wish the Messages app would let you set a skin tone preference though, so that you don't have to
Right,
keep
instead of having to do it for
sub-picking
every-
the emoji. You can just pick the default one, and that's what you choose by default.
Although
fact
when
that you
you've
can
got
even-
like couples or something, then you've got to, you know, that can always be different.
Right.
But the fact that you can even choose skin tone was probably like an 8 or 9 month decision making process with all kinds of people yelling at each other. So it's interesting that they decided.
I
to
do
it
like
this
that
way.
the default is yellow, like The Simpsons, though.
Yeah, if you like The Simpsons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which I do.
Yeah. Gad, what's your number?
What's
4?
your number 4, Gad?
The melting face.
That's a new one.
Yeah, that's a new one. I didn't think I would use it a lot when it came out,
right.
but I have. I started.
I think I
using it all
wanted
the
to
time.
use it, but I just haven't picked it up. What are you using it for?
And of course, with all the stuff going on in the world, it seems like the opportunity to use this one is exponentially increasing. So,
Right. Do you kind of use it the way Jay uses the upside down smiley face?
yeah. Like, okay, I'm here. Things are going to crap. But
Right. It's like your emoji version of this is fine.
exactly. Yes, this is fine. Yep, we're in a burning building. This is fine. I'll be here melting.
Right. Yeah, I got to pick that one up. I really liked the look of it when it came out, but I just haven't started using it enough. It's a good one. My number 3 is the smiling pile of poo.
Oh, how did I look for that one?
It's at the very end of the faces.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's like after the
There's
faces,
so
you get the
many
smiling
of them.
pile of poo.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
It's a
my lead.
classic.
I hate that one.
My kids loved it, I think, when they were really little. They loved the smiling pile of poo. It's just good to throw in something, you know? Like, hey, this is shit. I'm going to toss the smiling pile of poo on it. Use that with my friends all the time. Like, they'll be talking about something at work that sucks, and I'll throw the smiling pile of poo on it.
Yeah, I don't use that one much anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Y'all did a whole sticker set of poo.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I still have that in my stickers. I use it.
Yep, we did. It was pretty popular, but
Stinky poo and
There's so many emojis.
when the poo hits the fan.
yep,
How much memory is this taking up in my files?
it's big, and it gets bigger every year. You know, they keep adding on.
So when the iPhone says that I'm almost out of memory, and I'm like, it says like a blank, like system memory. It's a big old chunk. This is one of them, right? It's like, okay, I can't.
Yeah,
get rid of
exactly.
That's really funny.
Because all the skin tones, there's 1,600 emoji plus variants for skin tones, and
1,600.
something like that. I think there's more than that now, actually. So
When y'all are drawing them, how do you do the skin tones? Is that just like how do you do that?
we just do when we design them. They're set up in Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator, and Adobe Photoshop, and we have preset layer styles for certain colors and things that we can apply. But we've been, when we do draw them, we know exactly the skin tone selections, their highlights, their shadows, and so we can, set the shapes to be what they need to be.
We don't need half of these. I saw a toothbrush emoji. What more we use with that?
Yeah, a lot of the objects and things aren't used a whole lot. The vehicles, the
I got the flag. The flag was.
I just don't like what they chose to use for the cars. They're like, I don't know, not a car that I would want to drive.
Is it my number 3? What am I number 2?
Somebody's number 3. Who's number 3? I did the poo.
It's me. Okay. I'd like number 3 is the smiling face with the hearts for eyes.
That's a good one. I use that a lot.
Mm-hmm. What's your number 3, Gad?
Well, mine was the melting face. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Mike. What's your number 2?
Red angry face.
Where's that?
There's angry face, which is yellow, and then there's red angry face.
I see it.
Which is
there's red angry face, and there's red angry face with cuss word with things.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll use the red angry face with words coming out of its mouth. Yeah.
Okay.
Red angry face is just a good one. Hey, I'm mad. This I do not like this.
Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of the
ultimate. So I don't use emojis like this. So when you send this, that's it. You just send that, and then that conveys.
Well, it's feelings? It's either I put it on something, so I'll add it to. Like a friend sends me a message, I'll add this face to it, or I'll just do it right below it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. What? Gad, what's your number 2?
My 2 would be face with tears of joy. It's really one of the rolling on the floor.
Streams of tears. Coming down. When
you're rolling on the floor laughing, or you're.
There's 2 different ones. There's one, and then there's one that's kind of crock-socket.
Yeah, I alternate back and forth, but I like the straight one more. I think that's a Gen X thing, I'm told. Like Gen Z and millennials won't use that one. They will use the skull with crossbones instead. Like I'm dying from laughing so much.
I don't like that.
So, but I prefer this one.
Have you noticed that people are starting to blame Gen X for everything now because the boomers are dying off? I don't appreciate that one bit. Like, no, that's not going to happen. Like, we didn't do any of this.
Right.
Like, my generation created, like, the best hip-hop and rock and roll you guys have ever listened to, and you still listen to it. So, like, don't blame us for this crap. Yeah. That was not on us. Like, come on.
This is the truth.
That's just, don't blame Gen X. We didn't have any money. We don't have any money either. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just silly. Anyway, my number. That's just a side note. That's a whole different thing. Like someone said the other day, "Oh, it's this boomer stuff." I'm like, no, it's Gen X stuff. I'm like, what do you mean it's Gen X? Anyway, my number 2 is the fire emoji.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a good one. I think that's a classic. That's a good one. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's one that I definitely use probably on a regular basis. If I do use one, I've seen myself use that.
I think I used to use that a lot more than I do lately. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It can either mean good things or bad things, depending on what you're using it on.
Yeah, again, as a side note, my wife likes the way that the emojis look on her Android phone, on her Google phone, more than she thinks my Apple phone emojis don't look good, and she likes the way her emojis look on her Android.
Interesting.
Phone.
That's interesting.
As she said, she'll send me a picture, an emoji of a kangaroo, and then I'll show her what it looks like on my phone, and she's like, "That looks terrible." Like she gets really upset by it. She'll send me like 10 or 12 emojis of an animal, and then tell me to bring the phone to her to see what they look like on my phone.
Oh, that's awesome. I wonder. Now I need to go look up what they look like on Android because I'm not sure.
They actually do look better, which is they have more character to it, more details.
I'm kind of surprised none of these are animated yet.
Oh, jeez.
How much memory would that take?
Mike,
how much memory would that take up?
You want to animate 1,600 individual emojis? Yeah.
Like, you could animate the faces and the hands.
Sure, you could take the most popular ones and animate them, yes.
Yeah. Because Microsoft did that with Teams or whatever. So,
but that's really distracting. Like if someone posts a GIF in your text chain that keeps moving over and over again, it's really distracting.
That's true. Yeah.
Like it just keeps doing it.
See, Apple got around this by coming up with the memojis that were
the memojis.
Yeah,
and the Genmojis.
The Genmojis. Yeah. Those are animated. And instead of trying to mess with animating the Unicode Consortium standard for emoji, they came up with their own proprietary one and animated those. You know, so I think that's one of the reasons why they did it.
It's interesting.
Okay, yeah.
All right, Mike, what is your number 1?
I like this, but I kind of wish it was drawn differently. It's the face rolling on the floor laughing. And the thing I don't like about it is the tears. I don't know. I guess it's too Japanese for me. I want like a more. I need a like I'm really laughing a lot emoji that doesn't have tears on it. Is what I need. I think. But this is the one I use because everybody knows what it means.
Okay. All right. What about you, Get?
Oh, mine biggie is the Vulcan salute hand sign.
Oh, is it on here?
Yeah, it's great.
Where
It's hard
is
to find. It's
Live long and prosper.
it's stuck in there with the other hands, and it doesn't really stand out, but it's in there. I use it for everything. I sign a lot of emails with it. I reply to people online and on social posts with it.
Oh, I see it. I see
Yeah.
it. Can you change the skin tone?
Yeah,
Oh, you sure can. Oh, cool.
yeah, it's great. I really love it. It's a great all-purpose emoji, and it's kind of like a fist bump, but it's more geeky.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love that one.
See-
I'm so glad they added that one.
See, people do it different ways. Like I've seen the Vulcan salute with the thumb out, and I've seen the Vulcan salute with the thumb kind of closed in. What is the correct official way?
Nimoy did it with thumb out, I believe.
Yeah, that must be it. Because I've always wanted to put my thumb in, but I think that's probably incorrect. Yeah, I was so proud of myself as a kid when I learned how to do that. You know?
I still can't do
hard.
it.
You've gotta- it
I
takes
cannot
that.
do it.
You can't do it. I can do it with both hands.
I mean, I can do it, but it's taking a lot of thought right now to get
No.
it working.
I cannot do it.
I can't just
I can
snap
do it
into
easily.
it. I've got to like work into it, you know.
Yeah, I can do it easily. It's awesome. Yeah, it's fun. My number one is the face with the atomic bomb blowing up.
That's a great one. Yeah, mind
blown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually used that. I definitely have used that several times. This is actually a funny conversation. I teach creative writing. I was trying to articulate the movement of human species language, and I showed them the cuneiform from the original like language, the first language we have.
Right.
And it was like a bunch of symbols, and I was like, "Yeah, we've really evolved." And then I showed them a picture of emojis. I was like, we really haven't evolved. You guys do the same thing they did
Yep.
hundreds of thousands of years ago.
Yep.
You have not changed.
Hydro-
And in fact, we're devolving. But it's an interesting question.
The more and more emojis we add, the closer we get to hieroglyphics.
But is the human it's more efficient, right? Like, is the human language about efficiency? Like did we create big language and then dumbing it down? Like, is that making us dumber, or is it making us smarter? Because like you have to look at these emojis and know what they mean, right? And so like there's no difference between an emoji and the letter D. The only difference is like children use emojis and like we think it's a child thing, but in fact like it doesn't. Like language is about like the understanding what something says. It's like Gad, you like this one, the language of the people from Star Trek Next Generation that use metaphors.
Right.
And like it's the same, like it's like language is such a complicated thing that I'm really hesitant to say that we're devolving because we're using emojis. But I mean, that being said, we have a 55% of the population that reads at 6th grade level. So if we can read, if we had a literacy rate of 90% and everybody read at like a high school or senior level, then I would be different about this. But
I saw real quick. I saw a post this week saying that when kids are asked to write in cursive, they can no longer do that. Can either of you guys write in cursive handwriting?
I haven't done that in
my
years.
cursive has always been horrible.
But I learned how to write.
Right, I learned how to do it too in school with ruled paper and all of that.
Yeah,
but kids these days, they're not taught cursive at all.
My kids don't know cursive at all. They don't know how to sign their name really.
I'll blow your minds. They don't know how to use a computer. Like you give them a Word document, they don't know how to save it as a PDF. They don't know how to send it in an email. They don't know how to save it. They don't know how to change the font. They don't know how to change the ruler. They don't know how to use Word. So like our kids are not computer literate at all. I give me a freshman in college, they don't know how to use a Word document.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and so like people might say bad things about Generation X. We're the most educated generation alive right now. So like,
oh man.
So eat that.
Well, that's scary.
Yeah, it is pretty scary. That's funny.
You know how sometimes people like try to write like a whole paragraph using nothing but emoji,
I've never seen that. I would actually delete that.
It takes me like 100 times longer to try to figure out what.
Who does that?
I don't know. People on the internet.
I have seen that. Yeah.
No.
But I wonder if people were doing that all the time, would what takes me like 100 times now to figure it out, would I be able to read that faster? Like if that was all I was doing?
Maybe.
Just reading emoji?
I know. I mean, emojis are fun. That's the cool thing about it. It's like fun, you know? Like I would never send an emoji to my boss, even though she sent emojis to me. She sent me a thumbs up emoji all the time.
I like how too I wanted to bring this up because we were talking about emoji. There's some emoji that are used for things that are not what they were intended to be used for.
Like the peach.
The peach is one, yes, obviously. Another is the quote unquote praying hands.
What's that used for?
It is not praying hands. It's really a high five. It's
what?
Yes, it is.
Whoa! Yeah. Mind blown.
Yeah, it is not.
Mind blown. Emoji.
It's not.
I didn't know that.
Not supposed to be two hands praying. It's two different people giving a high five.
That's the design flaw. I guess if you made the cuffs look different,
right. Two different cuffs would have helped that for sure.
Yeah,
but
it's out the box now.
You totally can't change it. It's totally out there, and that's just one. You know, there's others, but it's a great example of how people will appropriate things, and they do that too with if you guys saw that on TikTok, the kids and the people on TikTok started talking about outdoor boots as code for something else.
What's the code? What is it?
It's code for some kind of social resistance. I can't remember what it was because the TikTok algorithms ban those particular things, and so they substitute a TikTok consumer-friendly term like mountain hiking boots to mean, oh, we're really going to go and demonstrate here on this day. And that way the algorithms don't recognize it, they can't remove it, and so on. Right. And so this really innocuous thing turns out to be a tool of resistance. And they have seen the boot emoji pop up all the time on TikTok, and that's what that means.
Huh. Did not know that. Interesting.
I've learned a lot about emojis today, way more than I thought I was going to learn. This is always a good day. Gad, do you want to give us any kind of social media handles or anything for our listeners?
The best place to find me is my blog, which is gedblog, gedblog.com. I'm also on Mastodon. But I can never remember my stupid handle on Mastodon. It's Gideon, GEDEONM at mastodon.social. Gideon, on Mastodon.
Awesome. Thank you very much. This has been great. I really enjoyed this episode. Mike, how can our listeners share all this stuff using emojis and other tools?
This is like the best episode of 5 to share with people because you can now use emojis when you're sharing it, and it totally makes sense. So hit that share button, share this with your friends, your group chats, people that use way too many emojis when they're talking to you, and people like Jay that don't use enough.
Don't use any. I might start, I guess. I don't know.
Right. And just hit the share button and share this on your favorite social media platform. We'd really appreciate it.
And keep an eye out for those Bigfoot emoji next year.
Oh, man, that's going to be great. I can't wait for that.
What would you use it for? Like, what would be the...
Everything.
Who cares? Just use him. He's awesome. He's my favorite monster of all time.
That's funny. Okay, all right. All right, thanks, guys. See you guys next time.
Okay, thanks for having me.